Volvo XC60 Review. R rating: 4 star. The Volvo XC60 is baby brother to the XC90 and borrows much of that car's mechanical, safety and autonomous tech. 4. More comfort-oriented than rivals, interior quality, tax-efficient plug-in hybrid. Against. Much pricier than the old model, rivals are more dynamic to drive, rear doors could open wider. The XC60 is the best-selling Volvo ever, and this new model will only enhance that. Like its big brother the XC90, the XC60 takes a more comfort-oriented approach than its rivals, and that means it's less dynamic than models like the Jaguar F-Pace, BMW X3, Audi Q5 and Mercedes GLC. It adds in a level of tech and quality that beats most of those cars, too. While the space on offer inside is good, this will be a very easy car to live with day to day. The 2-liter 4-cylinder engine range includes D4 and D5 diesels, plus a T8 twin-engine plug-in hybrid that offers excellent straight-line performance and big company car tax savings. Our choice: Volvo XC60 T8. When the original Volvo XC60 was launched, it was one of a handful of midsize SUVs, something which, no doubt, helped it become the biggest seller in Europe and Volvo's biggest selling car ever. Now things are very different, with every other premium car maker competing in the SUV sector alongside Volvo, including Jaguar with the former Auto Express Car of the Year, the F-Pace. But Volvo also has a former Car of the Year in its corner, the Volvo XC90. Big Brother lends the XC60 its scalable platform architecture, meaning a similar range of 2-liter, 4-cylinder engines, D4 and D5 diesels, and a T8 plug-in hybrid petrol, plus a level of safety, connectivity, and autonomous technology that leads the sector. Performance from the D5 is brisk, but overshadowed by the T8, as are both diesel's MPG and CO2 claims. If you're a company car driver and you can persuade your firm to stump up the extra cash for the T8, it'll save you a small fortune in company car tax. There's Volvo's latest city safety driving systems, pilot assist that will steer, accelerate, and brake the car at speeds of up to 80 miles per hour, and further safety kit that will help prevent head-on collisions and stop you from changing lanes when there's something in your blind spot. Sadly, Volvo has cottoned on to what its premium rivals do, and much of the more advanced tech is on the options list, including a Bowers & Wilkins audio system. Every car does get leather and an 8-inch touchscreen with navigation, while Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are available for easy smartphone connectivity. The XC60 comes in 3 flavors: entry-level Momentum, sportier R-Design, and top-spec Inscription. All can also be had as Pro versions with added kit, including the air suspension on R-Design and Inscription Pro models, an expensive option otherwise. Engines, performance, and drive. 4.1 star. Performance is good, but the XC90 is more about relaxed progress than sporty handling. It's what Volvo calls inspired confidence. We've only tried the car on air suspension so far, but in comfort mode it strikes a lovely blend between ride comfort and control. This is no sports car, and the XC60 will lean heavily in corners, but it always feels controlled and secure. You can select dynamic mode, which stiffens the car up and tightens responses, but you'd still find a Jaguar F-Pace more responsive and enjoyable to drive quickly. Most XC60s will come on steel springs, which Volvo says will translate to a firmer ride. We'll have to see if it's too firm when we test it in the UK. Visibility all around is good, making the car easy to drive around town, although myriad sensors and cameras are there to protect you. Engines. Although it's the diesels most people will go for, the T8 twin-engine plug-in hybrid grabs the headlines with its impressive performance and economy claims and its sizable company car tax savings. The lower-powered D4 model will be the most popular, but it's the 232 bhp D5 that we drove. This same engine can be found in the XC90, but here it impresses more with performance that's a match for the more powerful 2.0-liter diesel in Jaguar's F-Pace, and seriously impressive refinement. You'd be hard-pushed to hear it at all on the motorway. Power is delivered smoothly, and transferred slickly through the 8-speed auto box. Down changes aren't quite as slick, though. MPG, CO2 and running costs. 4.2 star. Diesels are more frugal, but T8 plug-in claims lowest CO2 and offers big company car tax savings. Existing XC60 owners will not only notice the improvements in the new model, they'll notice steeper prices. Entry-level price has risen by nearly £4,000, while the range-topping car tops out at nearly £45,000 before you start adding the most exciting safety. It's still cheaper and better equipped than many rivals, while improved residual values should soften the blow for private buyers swapping out of an XC60 PCP into a similar deal on the new car. Company buyers will be happy with the D5's 144G/km of CO2, putting it into the 30% benefit in kind bracket, better than some rivals. The other diesel, the more frugal D4, 54.3 mpg vs 51.4 mpg, comes with an entry price of under £37,000 for the nicely equipped Momentum model, reducing CO2 to 136G/km. The XC60 also gets the T8 twin-engine plug-in hybrid powertrain, featuring a 2.0-liter petrol engine and electric motors. Company drivers will find this especially appealing. It ups the excitement level with 402 bhp, dropping the 0 to 62 miles per hour time to 5.3 seconds, while the claimed CO2 emissions plummet to 49 G/km, leaving BIC at just 9%. The list price is a bit steep, starting at £56,795, but if your company will pay that, it should save you a small fortune in tax. Interior, design, and technology. 4.8 star. Another stunning Volvo interior that's well made, looks great, and is dominated by a fantastic 9-inch touchscreen. From an interior design and quality point of view, the XC60 leads the class. This is another stunning Volvo interior, dominated, as usual, by a large 9-inch portrait-oriented touchscreen in the center of the dash. Every model gets leather seats, while there's more leather elsewhere around the cabin and subtle amounts of chrome to lift things. You can choose various finishes, all with a cool Scandinavian feel to them, while the tiny Swedish flag on the driver's seat is joined by a tiny metallic one just beneath the vent on the passenger's side. Nice details. The plastics around the cabin all feel really good, too, apart from the lid of the glove box, which is surprisingly cheap. Outside, the XC60 is very much little brother to the XC90. It shares the same scalable platform architecture as well as many of the mechanical bits and those you touch inside. Set NAV, stereo and infotainment. Who'd have thought Volvo would be a tech leader? Where the XC90 led, the XC60 follows, with the interior dominated by the excellent 9-inch touchscreen controls for the infotainment, navigation, climate control, and pretty much every feature on the car. The screen is more neatly integrated in the newer car with revised functionality that makes navigation a little easier than before. It also gets added connectivity options. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are options, while you can stream music through Spotify or use other entertainment and info apps, including weather reports. For a sizable sum, you can upgrade the audio to an excellent Bowers & Wilkins system that combines punch with a level of detail you rarely get from in-car audio kit. On first listen, though, it didn't sound quite as expansive as it does in the XC90, though. Practicality, comfort, and boot space. 4.1 star. Plenty of space for all the family. The XC60 will be an easy and comfortable car to live with. The XC60 may lack the XC90's 7-seat option, but there's still enough space for 5 to be comfy with decent luggage room, too. Size. The new XC60 is 261 mm shorter but only 9 mm narrower and 118 mm lower than the XC90. It's a little shorter and lower than the Jaguar F-Pace but wider. It's a big car, but manages to hide its size well on the road, helped by the large glass area that provides excellent all-round visibility. Large door mirrors also help, while the Volvo's traditionally square shape rounded off more than ever on the XC60 still makes it easier to judge where all four corners of the car are compared with some rivals. Legroom, headroom and passenger space. The XC60's sizable dimensions translate to decent interior space for driver and four passengers, with good knee, shoulder, and headroom in the back once you're inside. As usual, the middle seat is very firm to sit on and a bit of a short straw, but in spite of their tiny dimensions, the rear headrests are well placed and comfortable. They also fold down at the touch of a button on the touch screen. There's decent storage space for odds and ends, a storage box between driver and passenger with a quality, sliding cover, a deep cubby between the seats and sizable door bins. 2. One thing we'll check on when we try the car in the UK, and if you've got a young family you should, too, on a test drive, is how easy it is to get a child into a child seat through the back door. The aperture seemed slightly narrow and the rear doors could do with opening by a few more degrees. Boot. The XC60's boot, as with most of them in this class, is dwarfed by the Jaguar F-Pace, but is still big enough for most families' needs at 505 liters. The optional powered tailgate lifts high out of the way, leaving a wide opening that's very handy. The rear seats are easy to fold and go down completely flat, while a handy reversible mat with carpet one side and plastic on the other will even fold out to protect the rear bumper. Reliability and safety. 4.8 star. Volvo is planning for 0 fatalities in one of its cars by 2020, so there are few safer cars to put your family into. Volvo continues to innovate and lead the way on safety, and the XC60 features some innovative safety tech, in addition to the expected structural safety of the car. This car will steer you back into your lane if it spots something in your blind spot you haven't noticed. The standard city safety package has been beefed up to give you enhanced steering input if you swerve to avoid pedestrians, cyclists, or large animals, and pilot assist that will accelerate, brake and steer for you at speeds up to 80 miles per hour, although you're still the boss and have to keep your hands on the wheel. Warranty. A standard 3-year warranty will cover anything that might go wrong, but very little should, given Volvo's top half showing in our driver power league table. Volvo dealers didn't put in such a strong showing in the dealer chart with a distinctly mid-table ranking.